CSE 210 Computer Science Programming 1. So let's start with the programming fundamentals. Before learning about programming, we first must know the basic constituents associated with the programming, that is about program, input, processes, output. A program actually is called as a set of instructions, and every program needs some sort of data in order to process it for getting a proper required output. In this course, you are going to learn about the programming language called Java. So Java is a object-oriented programming language. Let's start with other associated attributes such as variables. So variable is nothing but a space where it can hold some sort of data. Let's consider this participation activity. In this participation activity, as you see, when I started, the input of X is to be taken by the keyboard. It's provided as an input. Then the same way Y will be also inputted. When you input the value 5 from the keyboard, then both of them are to be added together and the answer is to be provided to another one variable named as Z. And then in the next step, Z is to be provided as output to the output screen. So here x, y and z are all of the variables which can hold multiple values or multiple times. These are some basic things and try to complete all these participation activities as well. Moving on to the programming basics. So what is a program? A Java program always starts with a main function. It's the mandatory statement which is needed. Public means access specifier. Static means a keyword which doesn't, and here our program, in order to execute it, doesn't need an object. And every instruction inside a program is supposed to be written inside the main function, and main function has this arguments and more details will be provided about it later on. And the function should have a return type. As my function is not returning anything through this statement, that is why it is called as void. If it is supposed to return something, then the return type will be different in this case. And every Java program should be written inside a class, and here the class name is salary. The class access specifier is public. The keyword is also used class, and then the name is salary here. So once you run it, what happens? It starts with the main function, then one wage variable is to be declared, which is of integer type, that is a value number type, and 20 is assigned to wage. So equal to is the assignment operator and 20 is assigned to wage. Now you want to print the salary in this way. Salary is goes to output. This is a message. And then in the next step, you want to print the wage as the wage multiplied by 40 multiplied by 50. This is the formula. So that is why the total answer, which is wage value, is 20 multiplied by 40 multiplied by 50, goes to the output screen, which is 40,000. So these are some basics about the program. Here you can practice this program as well in the GYDE activity. Then next comes the scanner statement. So what is scanner? So you have the class name here, salary, then the main function, wage variable is declared. Now, rather than just assigning the value of wage as you have here by the assignment operator, we want to provide the value from the keyboard. So that is why you have the statement, scanner statement. What does it do? The scanner is a text parser that can get numbers, words, phrases from the input source. So object is created and a new keyword is used for this, and this is specifically for the input from the system. And then wage is to be assigned with what? The object will now be able to call the function extend function, so that any value is you will provide through the input that will go to the input. And let's say from the input you provide wage, as 20, then 20 goes to the wage variable, and the salary is printed in this format. Once you run the activity, start the activity, it will run in this way. This is the use of the scanner. Then your system.out.print, so that is used for printing any text, and in the double quotation marks, any text you want to print, it has to be accompanied or enclosed within the double quotation marks. And new line. So what is new line here? So if you just use print rather than print ln here, so what will happen, the three statements in this will be printed in the same line. But if you write print ln or use print ln, each statement will be printed in the new line. That is your new line. Uh, like this, complete all the challenge activities in here. Moving on to comments and white space. So if you want to add the comments, so it could be added in this way. This is a multi-line comment. It to be added with the forward slash and the asterisk marks. It has to be enclosed in this way, so that this part of the code will not be executed. So this is the way you write a single line comment for each statement inside your code. So there are different types of comments. Read through the section to have more detail in it. What is error and warning? So error is something, a kind of a mistake or a bug. So see here, as you know, every statement has to be ended with a semicolon, correct? So it doesn't have a semicolon. That is why when you run the code, it will show in this way. In the Java 4, that is line 4, one semicolon is expected. So it will show that error. By seeing this error, you will fix a semicolon up here and the error will be cleared. So this is the way a syntax error is to be seen. Complete this activity to see some more type of error. Once you run it, you will see a set of errors in this window. Yeah. So here see, this is the error in Java 4. There is one error. So what is that error you need to correct? There is some error in the line 3. You need to fix it. Okay. Some other more activities and challenge activities as well. Okay. So there are other types of error also, compile time error and logic error. So what happens, let me run the activity. Just is slow. Yeah. So see here. So when you run it, it shows 500 bins in 3 jars. Else, how many number of total bins? So actually, we are not printing the total bins in here. Okay. So we have to do that. To do that, we need to fix it. We need to call. Uh, we need to call the argument that has to be outputted. So let me run it and let's see whether it is showing the correct output or not. So actually, compilation error is something which occurs at the time of compilation. So you ran it in the compilation time, you saw the error, then you fixed it and you got the correct output. And warning is something to report something, not that kind of emergency or urgent error that is being occurring, and the error can be, and with the warning also you can possibly execute the program. Computers, some details about the computer and programs, and any instruction or set of instruction you see in a program, when they are getting executed through your computer or the Eclipse editor, they are to be executed in the format of zeros and ones. These are called bits. Some more history about it, and how the errors, how the instructions were handled in the previous times, and how through time everything has been changed, and complete this activity to understand that. And if you see, you write, there are multiple instructions. So actually what happens in a program, when you write instructions, you have variables or other attributes. So they are to be stored in the computer memory. So these are memory, different slots are there, and in this way, separate instructions are also stored in the memory as well. So every memory has some locations, and when they are getting executed, every instruction is supposed to be seen in this way. This is a binary format, and this binary format is understandable by your computer, and it gives you the appropriate output after processing them. And a simple computer tour, some more details, fundamental details that you already know. And this is a participation activity. So here you see there are multiple programs, and a disk is capable of executing each of the programs separately or one by one. And in the first time, head will point to program A. Program A goes to memory, then it goes to the processor. From cache unit, it goes to processor. It's executed, and a clock time is noted. And after it gets executed, then the next one comes program B to cache it waits there. Then the first green one, the program has been executed by that time. Then the processor takes the input of program B in order to execute it. This is the process of execution of instructions in your program code. Some language history, the details, and this problem solving activity, you need to solve it on your own. This is an aptitude problem. Some more details about why we need programming, okay, and what are the best jobs as per the US News or World Report. What are some basic computing jobs that exist in today's world? Computer information research scientist, network architect, programmer, support specialist, all those. Okay. And the last one is most important. You need to understand because you need to complete the labs or other activities in JIBooks. So white space. Always be sure, complete this activity and see why the blank space or new line is most important when you execute code in JIBooks. It may not be necessary for your Eclipse, but it's needed for your JIBooks. So that's all in this video.